Are you looking for some settings for your new IBIS Ripley V4? Let's talk about it. Hi, I'm Mike with 50MTB, and I got a new IBIS Ripley V4 back in December of 2019, so it's the 2020 version. And I've been setting it up over the last 7 months to suit my needs. And I'm just going to walk you through what I do, and then of course you need to figure out what you need to do for your weight and riding style, etc. But I'll give you an idea of what I'm doing. I'm 6'2", and I'm 210 pounds, fully geared up for the summer, and I'm riding an extra large. This is the base model, the NX, but it seems like most of it's applicable across the line for these settings. So let's go ahead and walk through it. I'm going to give you a lot of different information. First thing I'm going to do is this setup here. This bike is has a really steep seat tube angle, about 76 degrees, and so I know they're steeper now, but at the time that was pretty steep. Traditionally it's about maybe 74, 73, and they get steeper and steeper as the bikes get longer and more slacker. What this has done for a lot of people with the low stack is that it's created some problems with their hands. So what I did is I put some spacers under here. Right now I'm at 20 millimeters. That seems to be pretty good. I could probably do 20 to 22. The other thing I did to 25. The other thing I did was I moved these handlebars up slightly so they're tilted up. That seemed to help a lot as well. So you might want to try that if you're having any hand issues. All right, let's talk about the fork. I've got the performance fork, so this is the entry level, the 34. I really like it quite a bit. It's working really well for me. Keep in mind I'm coming off a cross country in 32s, but I like this 34. It's pretty cool. So what I've got on, again, I'm 210 pounds, and so what I got on air pressure is that in my fork I'm sitting at 80 psi on the air side, and then on this compression side, I ride it open when I'm going down, but I've discovered that what I like a lot is when I'm climbing, I like to put it where it is right now, which is about a third of the way closed. So this is totally open, this is totally closed, and I like it about right here, about a third of the way in. Seems to work really well for me on climbs. Then when I descend, I go ahead and just whoops. There we go. I just open it all the way up like that, and then I get great traction and have a really good time. I'm currently climbing, so I'll go ahead and leave that back in at a third. Then on rebound, we're sitting down here. There we go. Rebound, we got this red clicker. What I've been doing on rebound is I went, you go fully open, you turn this all the way out in reverse to your left, lefty-loosey. And then from there, I clicked it 6 closed, and that's working really well for me and my riding conditions. I'm riding up here on Green Mountain most of my rides. So these are basically greens and blues, not a lot of tech. They do have steeps. Our mountains out here, we do a lot of climbing straight up, and then we come straight back down. A little bit of traversing, as you can see here. And so that's why I like the setup that I'm showing you where I do my climb. So one other thing I wanted to mention about this fork is that I have 3 volume spacers in there, 3 volume spacers. I had a fork fail on me where it just completely collapsed in the past, and I went OTB and broke a collarbone, so I'm a little sensitive to it, but I've got 3 volume spacers in here, and I probably never go above right there as far as my suspension use, which is plenty for me, and I get to use a lot of it, but I don't ever bottom out, so I really like that. Let's talk about the rear shock. The rear shock, I have 240 psi air in the shock, and then and that seems to be working well for my weight, again at 210 pounds. And then we've got a 3 position lever here. And what I found there is that when I'm coming up to my ride and I'm riding on the street, I actually like to lock it down in the firm position. It reminds me of my old hardtail, and it's really efficient to just get up to the trail. Then when I hit the trail, I actually keep it in medium or firm mode some people call it trail mode, in the middle for when I'm doing all my climbing and traversing. And for my weight, I found that that works really well. And then when I go down, I open it up, and I like that a lot. Now, I'll tell you this, with this Ibis bike, the way they've designed their suspension systems, you can ride fully open on your fork and your shock, and everything will work very, very well. It's just with my weight and looking at some other information, I discovered that if I firm this up a little bit, I just have a blast on the climbs. Now, if I'm on a super techie climb, I'll go ahead and open this all the way to get even more traction, and that seems to work for me as well. All right, and then up front here, I'm riding the Ardent Race, which is a lighter tire because I'm doing more cross country, and I like that a lot. This tire setup has really been working great for me on these blues. They're 2.3 29 Ardent Races. And for air pressure, I like 22 in the front and 24 in the back. Again, they're tubeless, and that's been working excellent, really, really well for me. So that's the setup that I've been doing on my Ibis Ripley. Yours is probably going to be different. If you're looking for some tools to help, you should go to the Ibis site to start. A lot of people find those settings a little too harsh, though. It's kind of set up for racing is my thought process there. So it's really tight. It's really good for getting traction and as far as speed. However, if you're more of a casual rider, you may want to look at some other sources. And by the way, again, start with Ibis and then Fox suspension. But if you want something that's set up a little softer for you, you might want to look at the Pivot site, the Pivot Bicycles, and their Trail 429 is a similar bike, and that's what I started looking at to set my bike up to just work a little better for me. I think that's something you should consider, and you want to fine-tune this bike to your needs. It's an expensive bike. You want to make sure you're really happy with it. Well, I hope that's been helpful for you. Do me a favor, if you're riding an Ibis Ripley, go ahead and write down in the comments section below what settings have you found are working really well for you and your riding conditions. So tell us what your weight is, what your height is, what kind of riding conditions that you ride in, and then any kind of information about how you set up your bike and your suspension that you're really happy with. Again, I hope this has been helpful, and if you like it, give us a thumbs up. If you like this kind of information, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you out there on the trail.